Alright, I guess it's my time to introduce the players. Spawning down in our spawning down in our bottom left-hand position, we have the purple protoss, BenAD. Yeah. Spawning up in our top right-hand position in the Christmas red, we have Captain, who is probably the favoured for this game, I believe.
Quite possibly, quite possibly. He is the Christmas Terran once again, and he's listening to Phantom of the Opera. Can you sing any of Phantom of the Opera?
No, I don't believe I can. am I afraid to ask if you can?
Quite possibly. I could sing All I Ask of You, because it's a rather romantic song that I used to sing with my ex-girlfriend.
No.
Go figure. Matthew sang songs for his girlfriend.
God.
Well, while we're on the topic of musicals, have you listened to any musicals lately?
No, actually. I don't believe I have. I haven't really, been the musical kind of guy recently, in all honesty. I mean, unless you count sitting in a kitchen working while there's a musical going on in the other room. If you count that, then yeah, sure. But, other than that, no.
I would say that qualifies.
Oh, well then, yes.
Well, we do see fairly standard 13 gate, followed by gas and scouting probe from Ben. He's assuming that his opponent's not going to go for any kind of early proxy, just based on the probe going after gateway.
I do prefer the probe after gateway scout. I hate seeing people pylon scout. I'm just going to say it out there. If you pylon scout, you're bad and you should feel bad. I do not agree with it.
Well, pylon scouting on a two-player map is actually quite necessary sometimes, but I've actually found on two-player maps such as Ohana, it is now actually possible to actually, let's see how many times we can fit actually into one run-on sentence. You can actually pylon scout if you actually go for it. Actually, indeed, we can, actually. But as I was saying, you can go for a Nexus first versus pretty much any Zerg build except a 6-pool, and you will be able to keep the Nexus alive.
Yeah.
Albeit you may need to employ some probe micro, but you should be able to kill off the initial set of Zerglings and be able to get your wall up effectively in time. And this Zealot very nicely positioned to take out the scouting XCV. Very well played from Ben.
Very well played indeed.
Meanwhile, we are going to have a 2 racks here. Is it going to include SCVs or not, though? Because we have the concussive shell from the Marauders, and the first Marauder currently underway. I believe if we get another Marauder, we're probably going to have 1 or 2 Marines, and then possibly 6 or 8 SCVs drawn off with this attack, if he decides to commit heavily into it.
I will be curious to see what...
Reactor.
Oh.
Yeah, we're probably going to be moving out with about 4 Marauders and a heavy number of Marines and SCVs in this case. If he... Oh, second gas, I spoke too soon. We are actually going to have a factory following this.
Bam. Throwing our predictions all off. Zealot punching the supply depot. He's not going to get away.
And this Zealot's going to die. But that is actually a big tell in of itself. Ben has seen the concussive shell. He knows that with this many Marines and Marauders, he's gone for a tech lab immediately, which is usually indicative of a 2 racks or some kind of 3 racks style play. So it remains to be seen what Captain's going to follow this up with. And it does look as though it's going to be an expansion.
We do have a 3-gate Twilight here from Ben. Could we be seeing DTs or some sort of blink play?
He does have a large number of gas stocked up, and there it is, the Dark Shrine.
It's getting better at protoss.
That we are. Now, I do like the fact that Ben's got the infrastructure to go for an aggressively defensive play here. He's got these 2 sentries after seeing these large numbers of Marauders, and this Marauder is going to get taken out.
Whoa.
But Ben has actually seen quite a large number of units here. He needs to get these Zealots into a defensive position at the top of the ramp. He needs to try and force field this army actually out of his base initially.
Oh.
And he does.
Still a small
And that's
gap
actually
there.
a good force field. All it takes is one more. And he's now able to just keep that army at bay. But I don't like his choice to warp in extra sentries here.
No, I don't think those extra sentries are necessary there. Should have been saving the
Indeed.
gas for the DT.
But at this point, his opponent is going for quite a heavy amount of pressure. What he needed to do was just warp in Zealots, because Zealots are extremely good versus Marines and Marauders.
Sentries are...
And any extra sentries he builds at this point are going to be pretty much suicide.
Oh.
But we do see Ben throwing down his 5th and 6th gateways. Actually a very good choice, because he has quite a lot of minerals. He can warp in a large number of Zealots, and if he's smart, he will send these DTs across to his opponent's base immediately.
I actually agree with you. Captain's now...
You heard it here first, folks. We have a first in the history of fusion slugs. But what Ben has to do at this point, he has got to follow up with a all-in from this. He simply does not have the economy to try and go into a macro game. He needs to attack with this army within the next minute.
He definitely does.
And then push out with the remainder of his forces. If he goes for an expansion of any kind, it is akin to suicide.
He is supply blocked. He cannot do a single thing right now.
Indeed, and this Marine is going to scout the probe moving up, so perhaps he's going to send a Marine off of one of these watchtowers to try and take it out.
Oh.
But what Ben really needs to do is push out with this army. The expansion is the wrong choice.
The expansion is always the wrong choice, unfortunately, for Protoss. This Marauder, he's going to find the probe. Mr. Probe, oh no. Unfortunately, he is not cloaked like his DT brethren, and he has gone down.
That he is. And we do see that the missile turret has now arrived by the natural. And while I do like Ben's idea to go for a bit of DT harassment, he has actually not gone for harassment towards his opponent's base. What he needed to do was keep a scouting probe out in the middle of the map and go from there.
Agreed.
And we do see a Stim Marine can actually kite a Zealot indefinitely.
Zealots altogether a bad unit. You heard it here, folks.
Until charge.
We have
Zealot
not
running
seen
by
sort
the
of,
destructible rocks.
charge research yet from Ben.
Indeed, that is usually the standard follow-up, but given he's going for his expansion, I believe he's going to invest quite heavily into his Zealots, and quite possibly get his charge up when he gets his 3rd gas geyser. But this is actually a very scary push coming across the map for him right now.
Definitely.
And in the Protoss army, there is not a lot of anti-air. He needs to get a warping of Zealots, and he needs it now.
He's getting 2 stalkers. We have a lone DT trying to make his way to the natural. He will be taken down.
And
completely.
meeting a bunker. Meanwhile, we see these overzealous Marines and Marauders decide to take a pot shot at their own orbital command. And here's the engagement over at the natural. The sentries not throwing down a Guardian shield, but these DTs doing a lot of damage.
DTs are going home on the army. Does Captain
That they
know
are.
about them?
They do a significant amount of damage, and there is still no scan.
Still no scare. These DTs are doing so much damage.
That they are, between the 5 kills and 6 kills, and most of those are Marauders.
That is so many kills.
Meanwhile, Captain has finally seen the Dark Shrine, and he's probably thinking now, right, okay, Ghost Academy. Standard follow-up. What Ben needs to do is just attack the army with this DT.
Yes, he does.
Forcing the lift up.
Very good choice there. The Scouting Factory, the cheapest flying unit in the Terran Brigade.
Indeed. The giant flying paperweight.
Definitely.
Only tied for cost with Banshees, interestingly enough.
And it does more damage with its new attack in Heart of the Swarm called Crush, where it can actually land on light units.
Oh, how we wish that could be true.
More...
How most Terran players in the game wish that could be true.
Oh, we got a bit of a drop coming in.
Do you see a drop moving along the bottom of the map going towards the main? But there are stalkers in position here, and they should be able to deflect it, but they're actually out of position temporarily. And hello!
That is
I heard you like marauders, so I put some marauders in your base.
One DT being warped in to attempt to
That is pretty much the... Well, the DT should be able to do some damage here.
Oof.
But all the Terran army needs to do is pick off these stalkers, then lift up and get out. But he does lose a lot of them to these zealots and DTs.
So much damage being done here by Captain, but Ben is somehow still in this game. Hanging on by literally a thread.
Well, he has the advantage of charge, and he has actually just begun his third base. So with Captain focusing all his attention on these drops, while he does have his third up faster, he has yet to saturate it. And I believe Captain's just afraid that he's going to have Ben push forward with a very large Zealot Archon DT timing, or perhaps something along those lines. But with Ghosts currently underway, Captain should be able to do quite a bit to deflect that.
Definitely.
Meanwhile, we do see Captain is currently killing it with the upgrades. 2-2 underway, and I believe after this 2 armor finishes, he's going to push forward and attack again.
I would be expecting that, actually, although he's actually pushing out right now. And I keep saying actually. I can't stop it now.
I've got you into the habit. I have got you into the habit. Welcome. Welcome to the club.
Thank you. I'm actually enjoying myself.
As am I, actually. These destructible rocks not having such a good day right now because they are taking grenades to the face.
They just got dust and browted.
Surely they would have fallen into destructible debris.
Collector's edition.
And dealt 500 damage to every unit inside that army.
Oh boy. Here we go, we're attacking the third.
You know, I'm gonna throw out this prediction right here. As this third is going to go down, there is no doubt about that. And the army's going to pull out. I'm going to throw out this prediction here. That there is going to be an upgrade, or a portrait, for random, which is the destructible or collapsible rocks.
I would no joke be so happy with that. If you got like, I don't know, 10,000 random wins, destructible rocks. I would be beyond happy with that. Massive scan there, taking out a lot of DTs. Infinite scan.
But we do see a massive number of DTs here.
Oh, GG throwing it
And
out.
GG from Ben.
Indeed they are.
With a good luck, have fun from our 2 players. So, would you care to do the honors, sir?
Of course I would. Spawning over in our top left hand position, we have FS BenAD rocking out the purple colour. Spawning over, rocking out the Christmas red, Captain in the top right hand position. Spawning as Terran. Yay, Terran. I do not like...
Yay, Terran indeed. Well, you would hate the Korean server then, my friend. So many Terrans. And you wonder why Protoss versus Terran is my best matchup.
Yes. I don't know. Recently I've run into a bit of a crossroads, a bit of a falling out versus Terran, where whenever I see Terran, I just sort of cheese them now. Do a roach rush or 6 pull, just anything. I haven't been feeling the ZVP matchup recently.
I'm imagining the 6 pulls do not end particularly well for you, sir.
No, they haven't worked very well yet. Usually my lings get to the wall, I hit them a couple of times, a marine kills them all, and I say some sort of profanity and I leave. But it's always the fun that counts.
Well, you can always 6 pull Protoss and get a 50% win rate.
That is true.
Unfortunately so. I recently started randoming on North American server again, and any protoss I end up against, if I end up a Zerg, I 6-pull. I'm currently on a 85% win rate versus protoss.
That's...
Literally because every single one of them forge fast expands, I ignore the forge, and kill any pylons he tries to make in his mineral lines.
Very good play there. 6-pull
That
like
it
a
is.
boss.
Well, it isn't necessarily the probe kills, it's just that you have to stop him getting his defense and gateway, because that allows you to get up to your 3rd base by the time he's still on 1.
And that is preferable.
And at that point, all he can do against your speedlings is a 4-gate, which is doomed to fail.
I don't know, Zealots are a pretty good unit. We do have a probe attempting to take down a supply depot. The DPS is pretty good here.
Indeed. And we do have a very similar opening from our good friend, Captain. However, he has shown a Reaper, interestingly enough, to Ben. I'm surprised he actually allowed Ben to see that, because Ben is now going to be rushing out a Stalker immediately to his mineral line, and he should be able to deflect this quite easily.
Definitely.
Meanwhile, here comes the Reaper.
Opting for a patrol route again.
And he is patrolling indeed, and he's going to squat this Reaper now.
Oh!
Forcing the Reaper to run away, and that's about all he can do. One shot, he deflects the Reaper, but he's now going to have to keep this Stalker at his mineral line and just go for a standard 1-gate expand.
Indeed.
Meanwhile, we see a 2nd Reaper coming along to join the party, and a 3rd one in production.
Building a lot of Reapers here. A bit of an odd decision, I believe.
Well, remember, these Reapers do still have their ability against buildings where they can do a considerable degree of damage, but a little bit of micro from this Stalker would have actually been able to take that out. We do see another Reaper moving back into the main, a little bit indecisive on where he wants to go.
He will be
but
losing
2 Stalkers here are going to take out this Reaper, and beautiful micro from Captain managing to save it, and Ben trying to micro lets the Reaper survive.
Damn, that has got to be a little bit annoying there. Reaper's not
Indeed,
quite as
especially
good
when you've
in HOTS.
invested. Well, in HOTS they actually would have regained the health that they've lost by this point, allowing them to continue the harassment for that much longer.
Exactly.
But we do see that at this point, that's 150 gas that could have gone into a factory, perhaps a starport, and actually the tech of Captain has been very heavily delayed. Looking at his base, he has literally nothing back home. A 4-gate would utterly kill him.
Yes, it would. And Ben seems to be going for a 3-gate robo.
But we do see that this Zealot, if he's not careful, is actually going to lose his life.
Zealots, the Jamaicans.
Instead, just getting away with about 20 damage away. Always with them dreadlocks.
Always.
But we do see that these Reapers do manage to sneak in and get 1 probe.
Will they get
Perhaps
a second?
going to sneak in a 2nd,
3
and a
probes.
3rd before finally dying.
That was not cost
3
efficient.
probes for 3 Reapers, not particularly cost-effective engagement at all.
Very ineffective.
Also, 3 probes for 3 Reapers, that's 150 gas lost. That's... While it has forced quite a considerable number of Stalkers, he hasn't actually been able to force much else out of Ben.
Indeed.
But he has forced the Stalkers, which allows him to get Marauders quite confidently, and we do see concussive shells underway quite early again from
Indeed,
Captain.
Ben opting to never chrono ever under any circumstance.
Indeed, perhaps he's going to chrono out his Observer, or perhaps going to wait until he begins his Forge upgrades and then just start doing some very heavy chrono boost. We do see Colossus Tech is currently underway. Meanwhile, Captain is slowly taking up to his starports, getting some extra Marines and Marauders, and just pumping out those first 2 medevacs. He's going to try and go for a fairly standard timing push, but look at that army. For the money he lost, that could have been an extra 3 Marines, that could have been an extra medevac and a half by now. Those Reapers, while they did allow him to get his stim up safely, they did delay any kind of pressure that Ben could have put on him. They didn't actually do as much as they could have.
I agree, I just don't think they were the correct choice.
Nice snipe on the observer, by the way.
Indeed. We do have a scout factory coming in. The question is, will it see the Colossi? Or will it be taken out before it is scouted?
It's probably going to see the Colossus Tech. It doesn't see the Robo-Babe, but it is fulfilling its role as a retard magnet because this army is very close to Ben's ramp.
Oh my god. Those stalkers are way out of position.
He knows where those stalkers are.
The stalkers are staying
those
up
stalkers
in the
need to get back now, and here comes
no.
There goes the Colossus, and there goes the Zealots. Ben is literally in an unwinnable position now.
Without that Colossi, it is GG.
We do see Captain now just going to ride out this stem, kill off this last probe, which has finally lost its life after trying to hide inside the Vespene Geyser, and now Captain is just going to walk away.
Very good choice.
And all Captain has to do now is just continue to make Marines and Marauders.
Definitely.
And meanwhile, these probes are having a bit of a party around this gateway, over in Ben's main, before finally getting back to work.
Opting to distance.
And, oh god!
Oh no!
I thought
Moving
they were
the
going
army
with the
to
army.
natural and sending it down. Oh no! This army's out of position. Disdrop.
That is very unfortunate. He could lose these pylons. He's going to lose both of these pylons here.
Oh!
That's 3 gateways, 4 gateways.
Will he unpower the 5th?
And that's
up.
5 gateways unpowered.
Oh, not taking the last pylon.
Well, the army was bearing down hot on his heels, so he actually made the correct decision in getting out of there. And meanwhile, you look at Captain's Naturals ramp, he literally cannot lose this game at this point. All he has to do is stay safe. He's using the SCV very smartly to repair this damaged medevac. And all he has to do is just make a big army, stim, and go.
That is brilliant. I love
Meanwhile, Ben
repair.
trying to macro out, he is in a unwinnable position now.
He might win. It is all possible that Captain might attack move, but instead of clicking on the minimap into Ben's base, he accidentally clicks on all of his Marines, Marauders, and Medivacs, and 2 of his command centers.
That would be an interesting micro mistake. And it is possible pro gamers have clicked on their medevacs and on their own command centers before. Definitely. Let us not forget MMA versus Idra, where Idra had a game 1 and then decided to leave.
Definitely. I mean, all Ben really needs to do is warp in about 10 or 15 sentries, put them to the other side of the map, and make it look like that he was proxying some sort of mass carrier. Or, you know, something like that. In fact, you can't make carriers, can you? You
could. No, you cannot actually. Carriers are not hallucinated units.
I believe...
And had Ben... As Ben has not actually got hallucination research, we cannot check this either. But these destructible rocks having a very bad day over here. Meanwhile, we do see that there are currently 7 Vikings on the field.
That will be enough to one-hit a Colossi.
This is just going to be painful to watch.
Will Ben stay and watch it? This is going to be bad. Here it comes. Ben has no idea this is coming yet. And Marine.
Well, he knows now, because apparently it's enough to half kill a Colossus. Nice force fields from Ben. These thermal lance colossi are doing quite a bit of damage, but Captain moving forward to a very nice concave, and a unlucky rally point from that colossus there.
Very unlucky.
Elementary. All he had to do was make me units and go.